Hey guys, what is going on? Dylan here. Got a little video for you today explaining how to solo flawless the new exotic mission called Starcrossed. If this helps you guys out, feel free to leave a like, maybe consider subscribing. And alright, let's jump into it. So, for builds, I recommend using a Strand Titan build. It's just great for survivability and damage. It's just the perfect build right now for something like this. I do have a video of that up on my channel. Basically, I just use the Monte Carlo to continue getting my melee abilities back. I would use a 1-2 punch shotgun. I would recommend a Void one, Nessa's Ablation, or like Retold Tale. I think a Nessa's Ablation might get 1-2 punch. I don't know. But there's going to be a lot of Void Shield, so I'd recommend using that. If you're using like a Warlock, I'd recommend like a Solar Warlock build with maybe like Healing Grenades and Phoenix Protocol to get your wells back as quickly as possible. For a Hunter, you could use like a Gear Falcon's Void build for that constant invisibility, or maybe like an Assassin's Cowl Arc Punchy Punch build as well. Something just that mainly focuses on survivability. So, we do have a cheese for the boss at the end, so if you do want to see a cheese, you can skip to the end of the video if that is what you're getting hung up on. Now, for the actual encounter itself, we need a 3-combination lock to open up the store. We get that combination by killing a yellow bar that is with the symbol that it is on. Now, focus on these snipers because they can sneakily get a shot in and be a run killer for you. Always make sure you are proccing the Banner of War as much as possible, and then just pop your super whenever you have it, really. And also be careful because phalanxes, they do that. They're doing this thing where if you accidentally hit them on their shield, they'll send you flying. And that's actually cost me a couple runs before. Now, after you kill your first yellow bar, there's going to be some Cyclopses that spawn, so just be careful of that. The spawn locations on those are random, I believe. So we just killed the first one. That was the Fire-Breathing Dragon. Now we're going to go down here to Sassy Bird, and we are going to just use whatever you have on it. Rockets, supers, just get quick melts on those, and be very cautious. The main thing with this is just take it slow, and if you're hurt, make sure you can get away with your grapple or whatever you need. Banner of War is going to make it very, very difficult for you to die in an activity like this. The main part that I had a problem with was honestly the boss room, but I figured out a cheese for that room that made it very trivial. So shouldn't have that much problem with it. And now we're just working on the last boss here. Now, what I would suggest is, again, playing very cautiously. And this is why I suggest the Titan build, because the melees do a lot of damage, especially when you have, like, 1-2 punch. And you can see there, he just, like, pinged me, almost hitting me against the wall again. So just be very cautious with that as well. And then what I was doing here was just kind of playing, like, the vertical game, jumping down. So he would have to jump down, and then when he jumped down, I would jump up, finishing when I can. And that is going to be the first encounter of this mission done. Alright, so for the second encounter, this one involves you getting these 3 nodes here to go through that door there. There is this little door or window here that you can look and see what those nodes are going to look like. They look like that. Don't jump down. There is a wyvern that does a lot of damage to you there. What we're going to be doing is you have to grab this orange buff. You have to then take the orange buff, and that allows you to go through these orange doorways. If not, you're going to get an unwelcome debuff, which is going to do damage to you and eventually kill you. Of course, ending your solo flawless run. So, we're going to start left, right, and then we're going to go to the middle one, because the middle one I deem to be the hardest room to go into. And just make sure you have an out. So, the wyverns will follow you all the way out, even to the main area. So just keep that in mind. But I sit back as much as possible just to make sure that if they're going to do a lot of damage to me all of a sudden, I can get away. So after you've killed your first wyvern, you're going to get the Paracausal Energy, and the Spark weakens the barrier, and we're going to move on to the next one. Now, this next one is going to be the entire room is going to be filled with this orange kind of gas. So I like to hang out near the entrance. That way I can make sure to get out if I start to lose Dam's gifts, whatever it is. Again, focusing on the snipers as much as possible because those can really hurt. And whenever you get your super, that's when you full commit. So I'm about to get it. So what I'm going to do is back off, rebuff, and then come back, use my super so I can get a quick melt on this wyvern as well. So we're going to rebuff there, head back in, and you're going to see me just beeline it right for the boss and do as much damage as I can in the quickest amount of time possible. and then we will be getting our second node. All right, now for the final one. Now, the reason that I deem this middle room the hardest is because the wyvern typically sits back on like a ledge, and they just are constantly peppering at you, and you don't really have much cover in this room. So I don't know if you want to try to tackle this one first or do it last, but I did this one last so I could really highlight it here. So if you come through this door here, there's this little kind of artifact or whatever you want to call it on the ground there. You can hide behind that for cover, but that's really all you got, and you also have things shooting at you from the right, from the left, so not a lot of cover in this room. So just, again, stay near the entrance, keep an eye on Dam's Gift so that you can easily get away and go rebuff. Now, you don't need to leave, because once you kill this wyvern and get the final node, all the orange gas is going to dissipate. But again, we're playing smart here, we're playing for survivability, so I'm just going to come back, rebuff, so that I can always just leave if I need to, because if you're low on health and you go through that and you get the unwelcome buff, that's obviously a death. So we're going to come back through, do a little bit of damage, clear the enemies out. Now, the enemies will respawn, just as a heads up. Even if you clear them all out, I can't want to say clean. Even if you clear them all out, they will respawn. It just obviously takes a little bit for them to respawn. So this is where I think picked up some heavy that was on the ground, and we're going to go ahead and just lay into the wyvern, doing as much damage as possible. And I use a cold comfort rocket launcher here, as you can see. Like, it's a great rocket launcher, especially if you have Envious Assassin on it. You can get a lot of rockets off in a very, very short amount of time. So once you've killed that final wyvern, you're going to get your last pair of causal energy, and you can see here that the enemies are just now respawning, so there is quite a buffer on time. Maybe you could leave one goblin alive, actually. I didn't even think about that. Anyways, once you have killed the 3 wyverns and gotten all 3 nodes, then there is going to be one more wyvern that spawns in front of the door that you need to leave through. The mechanism is going to be blocked, it says. So there's going to be a yellow bar wyvern, just like the ones we've been killing. And there's also going to be a giant yellow bar minotaur. Not really tough. Just kind of sticking with the same theme of playing it slow. I would take out all the enemies first, and then take out the sniper that is sitting up there. And then just, again, slowly... This is why I like to use the Monte Carlo, because you can sit here and use those ranged melee projectiles that I use for my build and just kind of keep doing damage from afar. And so we're going to just keep chilling here. And you can see here, again, play it smart. So you can see here, I'm going to use my super. I'm going to go in, use my super, and I realize I'm not going to get a quick melt on this boss. Now, when you kill this yellow bar, everything doesn't disappear. You still have to clear out the rest of the enemies, so just be careful of that. So I realized, oh, I'm not going to kill this yellow bar, so I'm going to just get out. Play it smart. And so I suspend the wyvern. We're going to throw a rocket at that wyvern to just get rid of it. So that way we can just focus mainly on the yellow bar. And all right. That is second encounter done. Easy peasy, right? So now, this is the third encounter, or just before the final boss. It's going to be kind of the culmination of everything we've learned. There is going to be blue or white, whatever you want to call them, buffs that allow you to do damage to yellow bars. And then there's also going to be an orange one that allows you to go into the rooms filled with orange gas. We're going to want both of them. So you can see I just got the orange one there. And it's going to be just like before, where there's a locking mechanism. And you have to pay attention to the symbols and kill the correct yellow bars in the correct symbols. It's everything that we've basically been doing just up to this point. So you can see here we have Sassy Bird, Figure 8 Snakes, and Downward Fish. And so, I think to the left here is Sassy Bird, right? Yeah, there we go. Sassy Bird to the left. And you just basically just rinse and repeat everything. Use your super, use your heavy, use whatever you have at your disposal to kill these yellow bars as fast as possible. And then eventually you will get to the final area. Now be careful, because you can get overran here, so just make sure that you have that Banner of War procced if you are using this build, or just make sure you have a way of getting out. And I'm just going to keep spamming my super as much as I keep getting it, just to be absolutely safe. And yeah, and that is it. That's the third encounter. So now we're moving on to the final boss and the cheese that we have. So place your rally banner. And again, you don't have to reserve ammo or anything, because there is going to be a rally banner for this final boss. I'm going to go in and immediately pop my super and do as much burst damage as I can right off the front. Now, the game wants you to kill these yellow bars, so that what those yellow bars do is they actually get rid of the shield circulating, holy crap, the Hydra. You don't have to do those. You don't have to kill the yellow bars. And I would honestly probably urge not. Every run that I did where I tried to take care of those first didn't turn out too well for me. So what I would do is pop that super, do some burst damage, come back here and get up on this little ledge that I jump up to, and this is where you can deal damage to the goblins, to the oh, what are those called? Oh my god, harpies. Jeez. Just do damage. Now you can shoot through this, but they can't really shoot through you. Like, it's like your gun is sticking through it. I don't know if this is going to be patched. It might be patched at some point. I don't know. But you're like sticking your gun through this like grid and being able to shoot the enemies through there, and they can't really, they can hit you, but it's more like they're hitting your gun, so it doesn't really do a lot of damage to you. You see they're trying to shoot me there. And then with the enemies that do detain you, they do things like that where they explode on the wall and they don't actually detain you. Now, they still can detain you. That does still happen, but again, you're on the other side of the wall in a safe area. So I basically just jump down, shoot a couple arrows when there's no enemies to get those enemies to spawn again. When I get my super, that's when I full commit and do as much damage as possible. So you see here, I'm going to fire a few rockets just to do some more chunk damage to them. Now I see that yellow bar is coming, so I'm just going to back up. And I believe there's some more enemies spawning, which there is, some more harpies spawning. So I'm just going to rebuff, get back up on this ledge, kill the enemies, rinse and repeat. And this is the safest, cheesiest way that I've seen to do this. So, yeah. And then I'm about to get my super back. Now I'm going to go full commit on this guy, rebuff up. And, yeah, that's it. So, let me know if this helped you out. Let me know if you guys like this video. Leave a like, subscribe. We are quickly and vastly approaching 700, so hopefully we can get there. And, yeah, that is all I got for you guys. Love you. Thanks for watching. Talk to y'all later. Bye.